someone who just known for the past 4 years, but it's someone who I feel as though I've known him my entire life. Dana Jones. Dana Jones is a director, and he runs our shelter operation in Bloomington. He runs all of our operations in Bloomington, Indiana. And you may not know that we're in Bloomington, Indiana as well, and we're getting ready to come up on our 10th anniversary in Bloomington, Indiana. So I just wanted to make sure we welcome Dana to the bench. And Dana, we're so happy that you drove up. Dana drove up. He drove up here to be here, sit here on the bench with me, downtown Indianapolis on an October night, just to talk to you guys. So Dana, welcome.
Well, thank you, Barry, for having me up here tonight. And I wouldn't miss it for the world to be on the bench with you at 8:20 at night.
A very comfy, hard, it's kind of hard, right? I apologize. I've been apologizing to people when they first come here, but we've got a great story for the bench, right? It's made by the men in our pallet shop who in our program, and we asked them to make something for us for a very special occasion for conversations on the bench. So it's got a little story, a little history to it.
A little foundation of what we do, right?
Exactly.
As a mission, restoring lives and equipping guys with the skill set necessary to be successful. Right? So,
Dana, tell us about our operations in Bloomington.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be a wheeler.
All right. Well, it's been quite a journey. I started out. This is believe it or not, this is my 25th year.
Oh wow!
In helping those experiencing homelessness.
Wow.
25th year, and my 10th year with Wheeler Mission.
Okay.
So it's been a blast. Yeah. And so I was with what was called the old Backstreet Mission in Bloomington, Indiana. And at that time, the leadership was aging out.
Okay.
And Wheeler Mission came alongside and said, "Hey, what can we do to help?" And so grateful at that point. And it was just providence.
Yeah.
The providence of God came down in. And because it was a little 20-bed shelter, and we never envisioned what was coming our way at that time,
Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah. The changes in society. 10 years ago, there was no COVID, right?
Right. No COVID. The unsheltered population was nowhere near as high as it is now.
It's skyrocketing down in Bloomington.
Exactly. And there's a big concern today with unsheltered homelessness. We did a survey in May of this year showing we had 116 unsheltered homeless in Bloomington, and the size of Bloomington, that's a significant population, right?
Tell them what, just a technical thing. What unsheltered, what's the definition of unsheltered? What does it mean?
Yeah. So when you see our statistics back from the IHCDA, and we do our PIC count every year, and we'll look at who's sheltered, experiencing homelessness that's sheltered. So those are folks staying in our shelters, Wheeler Mission, then unsheltered is that population living in some place that's uninhabitable, the streets, their car, and in some area like that. So we have the sheltered and unsheltered population. Unfortunately, we've seen that unsheltered population explode in the last 5 years, and which is sad to watch. And never would have thought I'd seen it in 25 years of ministry. But unfortunately, we're at this place today. And many of those are struggling with severe mental illness. Many of them are service resistant. They don't receive services. Many of them don't want services. And it's really tough. Mix that all together with a very tight housing market. And we've got a long-term chronic problem. A lot of people experiencing homelessness for 12 months and more. So it's a sad thing to see. So I would have never guessed that. Rolled the clock back 25 years ago, we would be where we are today. It's unfortunate to see. So, but Wheeler comes to Bloomington in 2015, October 1st.
October 1st is 10 years,
10
right?
years. Yeah. And brought the resources and things necessary, because at that time, we began to see over the next 5 years, homelessness increased by about 400% in Bloomington due to the opioid epidemic that we saw come up across the state. A lot of those struggling with rural poverty, their entire families were destabilized by this drug, and we began to see mom and dad and grandpa and grandma and all their children and siblings running homeless, and it was just hard to see that entire families destabilized, and so we began to see that in greater and greater levels until it came from a little 20-bed shelter in 2015 to 2016. We saw about 30 to 40, and then 2019 we're sheltering 130 plus men. Very sad. And then, of course, in 2020, we all know what we saw then with the pandemic.
And it skyrocketed even more.
Yeah, and so we grew a mile wide and an inch deep in Bloomington, right? And just trying to meet the need. The city called, we responded. The city called, we responded, and try to just meet the need as Wheeler Mission. And we do a phenomenal job. I think as want to toot our horn for a minute. We do
Yeah.
a phenomenal job, right, of trying to meet the needs of those. And we have a lot of compassionate people that serve at Wheeler, and we just continue to try to meet those needs. But at some point, you have to say, hey, wait a minute, we have reached far and wide, and really we need to focus. We need to, what's the next steps here? And so with your leadership in 20, what was it, 22, 23?
22.
We sat down and did a strategic plan,
Yeah.
right? And
What came out of that strategic plan?
we-
I'm asking a leading question because, folks, I know exactly what came out of that plan.
well, thanks for asking, Barry. So what the strategic plan, of course, was 4-phase, 5-year strategic plan. And the first phase was to do what we do currently better. Better, right? To deepen program opportunities, to round out our facilities where they're more conducive to what we're trying to accomplish there in Bloomington. And so, of course, that kicked off with a $4 million campaign to make that happen.
Yeah.
And I want to say this before we go any further. It's a $4 million campaign. We start off in Bloomington. We're like, oh, okay, we're going to start this big campaign in Bloomington. Let's do it. Let's pray. And we got to praying about it. And today I want everybody to know that we're at nearly 3.6 million of that 4 million campaign, which we've raised the bar a little bit to 4.25, right? And so good things happening there. That's with great. That. Yeah, it's been phenomenal. And the community's really got behind us because, I think we all want to see more than outputs. We want to see more than just meals served and beds provided and day room services available. We want to see more. We want to see our strength is transform lives, right? We want to see people become better and well and back in our communities and thriving, right? Not just static and making it, but we want them to see them thrive. And so the campaign that we're in currently is to provide the services and programs or deepen our long-term programs so that we can help people, not just the old adage, give a man a fish, but teach him to fish, he'll be able to care for himself. And so, but we want to do more than just provide. We want to see outcomes. We want to see those transformed lives where we're producing successful citizens in Christ in our communities, right?
So how many people did we serve last night? I mean, down in Bloomington? Yeah. How many meals? I know you have that, just to get the folks the numbers and kind of the scope of what you do every night.
Yeah. So in Bloomington, much smaller community than Indianapolis, right? And so in Bloomington, last night we sheltered, I believe it was 76, 78. Okay. 82. Sorry, 82. Okay. And mid 80s. Now that number will increase here shortly.
As soon as it starts to get cold.
As soon as the cold snap comes,
we'll see pretty much about 100 folks a night.
Right. We'll see 100 plus per night throughout the winter months. And we work very collaboratively with our community to try to address those winter contingency moments. We actually will be doing our winter contingency training here pretty soon.
Okay.
Coming up mid-October, getting all our teams ready for what's coming.
Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. You do a great work down in Bloomington, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Dana's really assembled a great team down there. We have about 11, 12 employees down there who really do a phenomenal job, but we could use more. And that's part of what the capital campaign is all about. And so, Dana, tell me a little bit about your family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be nosy, but I do. Tell me a little bit about your family and how you came to really, before us, work for Backstreet.
Yeah, sure. So it's I'll just say this: it was a God thing, Perry. I'm not I would have never suspected 25 years ago I would be here today.
Yeah.
Rescue missions and that type of ministry was not on the radar for me, right? I actually was a church planner.
Okay.
And I was approached by the founder of Backstreet Missions, and they came to my church, sat in the back row, said, "Hey, we want you to come see what we're doing." And I come up and I was just amazed by the project. They're feeding people, they're providing clothing, shelter, all the temporal things that a person would need. But not only that, but they're doing it in the name of Jesus, right? To see the lives changed, right? And I was really excited about that. But I was in a church plant 6 months in, and so I said no initially, and they continued to call me for over a week until I acquiesced. I prayed about it, finally gave up, and went on, gave the board. I told the board at that point, I'll give you all year, and that year turned into 25.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah, right. So I'm still here
And
today.
he's still here, folks. He's still here. And we want him here for many, many more years because we have so much more work to do in Bloomington. The work is not done down there by any stretch of the imagination. And so, Dana, the point of this is authentic, transparent conversations on the bench, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the struggles, not just the good stuff.
Yeah.
I want to know some of the struggles you've seen, at least in the last 10 years with Wheeler, but maybe in the last say since you've been the sole executive down the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of those struggles that you've seen, and what's happened.
And as we look, it's a.
And by the way, I need a good story. I need a good story of transformation.
Yep,
So
got it both.
you got them. Okay,
I got it all. Yeah.
Good. I want both of them.
It's one of the things about serving in rescue missions is we really get the nitty gritty, right? We see the before and after, and that's one of the things I felt. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with this, because we can actually see Christ work day by day in the life of a person, right? That's amazing.
Yeah.
And but then you also see the hard times,
the other stuff.
You see the hard things, the underbelly of what we do, right? And that not everyone, not every story is as successful as we'd like to hear, right? For example, we had a gentleman stay with us here just a little over a year ago. He'd been with us actually almost 3 years.
Wow. Yeah.
In and out of the shelter, and older gentleman, couldn't get a place of his own, had obviously some type of undiagnosed.
Guy has some physical disability, some mental disability.
Yeah, a lot of that taking place in his life, and we never could get him. We start getting him plugged into services, and then he'd fall away and be gone for a minute and come back. And it was just tug of war of trying to get him stabilized. And then one afternoon, he came in for a meal, and halfway through his meal, he just fell over. And my case manager at that time was walking by him, and she caught him.
Oh, okay. He didn't hit the floor.
He didn't hit the floor. She caught him and eased him to the floor, and Perry passed away in a matter of seconds.
So your case manager was there
when
he expired.
Right. And she was also the one who had shared Christ with him previously to that. And so we see that type of situation. But my joy goes to this. We go, oh my, but my joy goes to this. That man was given an opportunity by Christ to have people that cared for him and loved for him there at his worst moment, right? His toughest moment. And Nicole, our case manager, had been praying for him and telling him about Christ and what Christ had for him. And at the end, she was there to hold him in her arms as he passed into eternity.
What I find so cool about this story is that he returned. He was there. Yeah. He was there before, went away and eating dinner. It was dinner, right? Not lunch, dinner. But he returned to the place, probably where he probably heard the gospel for the first time.
And people cared for him. I mean, this gentleman was hard to get to know, and very, very untrusting, and it took us a while to develop trust. So he came back to that place of family.
Yeah. I hear that so often. It is all about family. It's all about relationships, which is why we're here on a bench. People, ask me why a bench, right?
Yeah.
Because a bench is such a simple tool and a symbol, right? It's simple.
Yeah.
It's an ordinary thing, but when two people or a group of people get on it and talk and develop relationships, it can become something extraordinary.
Absolutely.
And besides, I don't think me being at night for 24 hours in downtown Indianapolis is, anything unusual, because the people that we see every night, people that you see every night, this is heaven
Right.
compared to what they go through,
Absolutely.
the traumas and
Mhm.
all the challenges and barriers that they face each and every day. But what I love about a bench is we're sitting here talking. After all, our mentor Jesus talked to people in so many different places,
Oh,
on a hill, many
Oh.
hills,
Mhm.
on the road,
Right.
at a well.
Mhm.
You know, he went to people's homes.
Yeah.
He went to wherever, in very ordinary, simple. How much more simple can it get than back in that day? A well, right? But he had extraordinary conversations with people everywhere, and so that's what we're trying to replicate a little bit here,
Mhm.
and just nodding to
Mhm.
how important something ordinary can
Mhm.
become something extraordinary.
And not only conversation, but life transforming
Absolutely.
conversations, right? And that's our Christ. And you know, I just sat down today and was having one of those conversations with one of our guests at the
Yeah.
shelter. He's in our foundations program,
Yeah.
and we were talking about his relationship with Jesus and where he came from. And he was sharing. We wanted to first of all talk to me and say, I want to be great. I just want to express how grateful I am for this opportunity. And I said, well, give me a little bit of your history. And he said, well, I just recently got released from jail. He's been with us 4 months. Joined our foundations program after the bit in prison, and has had in 2024. He said was one of his worst
Yeah.
years in his life
Yeah.
because he was arrested. He had a broken relationship. He had lost his child, and after being released from prison, he didn't know what to do. And so he came to us. He joined the program because of an experience he had with Christ as a young man.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
Jesus had touched his life as a young man, and he came back. And this is a theme we see quite often, right? Where their life has been touched at some point. God is called, right? And
He
then
never stops pursuing us.
No,
we
ever.
know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we take hope in that, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. You know, if I didn't have that kind of hope, I don't
Right.
know what I would do.
Amen. And
Because
so
I'm a sinner. We're all the sinners, and I fail all the time.
and there is the grace that God affords, right? There is the grace that Christ, our Christ, gives unto us. Even yet we're sinners, Christ died for us, right? There's the grace of God in action in our lives. This gentleman came to us, God's grace captivated him, right? And today he's in church. He's looking for employment. The
Okay.
list of felonies is preventing
I'm
him
sure as long as
employment.
your arm.
Is preventing his employment.
Yeah.
But he's looking for those opportunities, and he's being reunited with his child, right?
Like, family reunification. That's great.
And all that taking place because God provided through Wheeler Mission a place of respite, a place of care, a place of transformation, right? Where that man can take the time to focus on his life with Christ and be restored in a way that would have been impossible otherwise.
You know what that's called, Dana? It's called second chances.
Amen.
We are a ministry of second chances.
Always.
Jesus is a Jesus of second chances.
That's
so
right.
we're all about that.
Exactly.
So one of the things that you asked, when we were setting this up,
Yes.
one of the things that you asked, kind of the question of, Harry, where are we going? Where's Wheeler Mission going? What's the vision that I have for Wheeler Mission? After all, I took over for a gentleman who had been here for 33 years, and you knew Rick very well.
I did.
Who's going to be on here later, right? He's going to be he's going to be in Dallas, and he's going to be zooming in at I think 10:30 is what
10:30.
10:30.
10:30.
So
Stay tuned.
I love technology until I don't love technology. Technology doesn't always work, but hopefully we'll get Rick on here at 10:30. But getting back to my question, my point.
What's my question?
Is your question? I'm going to answer. You're wanting to know the vision.
Yes.
Kind of what's the vision of Wheeler?
I think it's
Go ahead,
important. Yeah.
illuminate
So
it for me.
as we move forward, we're in Bloomington. There was a vision there to reach out in Bloomington to help. In Bloomington and in Indianapolis, we've expanded to help, right? And in your tenure, as you're looking towards the future, Perry, what is you believe the Lord's leading us to in the next 5 to 10 years? What's the hope? What's the vision? What's the dream?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, unfortunately, Dana, what we see a lot when I came in, any new CEO is going to come in, analyze the situation, and say, what can I do to help make it better?
Yes.
I mean, not necessarily new stuff. You don't have to always,
Mm.
better is not always, new is not always better.
Mhm.
But one of the things that we wanted to do was recognize the realities of the situation.
Yes.
The landscape has changed, from Rick's
Absolutely.
33 years, to my 2.5 years, going on 3 years as CEO. Things have changed. We need to recognize those realities and rise to the occasion. And Dana, it's our sacred obligation to really be people of the moment, to understand what we need to do to help the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that we recognized is, there's a balance between what we call emergency shelter servicing, which is food, clothing, and shelter,
Right.
which is probably what Wheeler is most known for.
Right.
And what people readily associate with Wheeler
Mhm.
after 132 years here.
Right.
But we're so much more than that. We're
Mhm.
also the programmatic side. We're job readiness training programs. We're drug and alcohol addiction counseling programs. We help with mental
Right.
challenges and mental illnesses, and we have such a
Right.
great group of partners in
Mhm.
Bloomington as well as here in Indianapolis that
Right.
help us with all of
Right.
these things,
Mhm.
right? But people don't really know a lot about that. But one of the things that has really, I found that was disturbing to me
Mhm.
is that some people can come into our various shelters, and stay for 3, 6, 9, 12 months.
Right.
You just talked about 3 years, right?
Right.
We've been seeing somebody for 3 years.
Years.
That's a bit long, but 3 years.
Too
I mean, you can come in, and we will do that. We'll work with you to stabilize,
Right.
and our vision to see every man, woman, and child we see become productive citizens and enjoy lasting success through Jesus Christ. The key phrases there are equipped to become productive citizens, right?
Right.
And so what we were seeing, and we typically were seeing, is after we had done our work,
Mhm.
and they would go out into the community,
Mhm.
they were failing.
Right.
They were coming
Mhm.
back to
Mhm.
us at the front door.
Recidivism.
Wheeler, I need your help again. And we're there for that. That's all well and good. But one of the things we realized is, we have for so long been associated with the front door of homelessness.
Right.
We need to be
Right.
focusing some attention. And what we're going to, part of the vision is to look at the back door,
How exciting. Mhm.
for that total life transformation,
Mhm.
and
How
help
exciting.
people get absolutely, totally self-sufficient, right?
Right.
Self-sustaining. And we think we can only do that through, affordable housing, sober, affordable housing, and different
Great.
people have different definitions for those words.
Mhm.
What we're talking about is making sure that people are able to move to stable housing and have supported with our services.
Mhm.
They've just been in our four walls for a period of time, clustered,
Right.
and just putting them in an apartment or a home or some other environment outside of our walls.
Mhm.
That usually is only worked for a period of time. So
Mhm.
what we found is that we need to come alongside them for another period of time. And that period of time could be months or several years, where we still provide services and help them get totally stable and totally self-sufficient.
Wonderful.
So that's
Wonderful.
where we're going.
Wonderful.
And we've had some pilots in the last 2 or 3 years.
Right.
We've been very successful.
Right.
And our board just expressed confidence in us this summer
Wonderful.
and gave me more money.
Mhm.
By the way, board, thank you very much. I love you, and I'm going to need more support in the future. Got it? If any of you are watching, and I hope you are, but that's where we're going. They found support. So, don't you love the city?
Oh yeah.
Don't you love it? I mean, this is not
Alive
the first
now.
time. There it is.
I pray for those folks.
Yeah, whoever's in there,
Yeah,
or wherever
amen.
they're going. Yeah,
Very
but Dana, our people we serve each and every night.
Mhm.
That's nothing.
Right.
That's the backdrop. That's
Exactly.
every night occurrence for them.
Right.
But where we're going is not only still being strong on the emergency shelter servicing side on the front
Mhm.
door, but also being there for them as a resource and helping them on the
Mhm.
back door, so that we can really, really help them experience true life transformation.
So the key to that in the housing piece, right, Perry, is continued providing those wraparound services when they leave, right? And building those relationships. How often do we find in our unhoused survey in Bloomington, we found over 22% of those unsheltered in the street were there because of broken relationships, right? Needing restoration of healthy relationships. So this is going to provide those opportunities to rebuild those relationships in community, reduce recidivism, and give them the skills to be successful, right?
Yeah, we're not exactly sure how to do it. We've got some pilots out there.
Mhm.
We're also partnering with other organizations who have much better experience, like Inglewood Development Corporation and Joe Bowen and those wonderful folks over
Mhm.
there. You know, they
Great
got
job,
a new,
guys.
yeah, great job. It's called Bridges, and
job.
they've got approximately 40 units, and they're allowing us to come in, you know, and work with at least 10 of those units. When I say units, there are really 4 people in each unit, so about 40 or 50 people to provide those wraparound services
Awesome.
for those
That's great to hear.
residents of those 10 units. So we've got that kind of thing going on. We're recently doing some supportive care where we're taking people who are in our buildings
Yep.
and our programs,
Mhm.
taking them out of the clustered environment, you know, that we have in our 4 walls,
Mhm.
and taking them outside the 4 walls and supporting them with wraparound services, but also seeing how they're going to do there too. And so we're doing that for both men and women. We're not quite there on families yet, you know, but for men, single men and single women, we are there. And so I think that's where we're going.
I think it's an exciting addition to what we do now, don't you?
You don't have any choice but to think it's exciting. You work for me.
Right?
He doesn't have any
It really
choice
is.
but to think it's exciting. I'm just kidding. Dana knows I'm kidding.
I do. But it is exciting to me. It's something that we've looked at for a long time, right? And it's the piece that it's just a natural to go to, right? If not, we would have to partner with others to make it happen. So this is great.
You know, we got to learn though. We've been at this other thing for 132 years, right?
Right.
And we are only been at this other thing for last 2 or 3 years,
Right.
you know. But still got to learn, and I think we will get there. So, you know, in the next 5 to 10 years, that's where we're going, Dana. I hope that answers your question.
Well, yeah, it does. And one thing that I do admire about, you know, it's in my just having been with Wheeler for 10 years, I think, and some of our folks, I hope, listen to this as well, is that one of the things that impressed me with Wheeler Mission when coming aboard 10 years ago was the longevity.
Yeah.
Has God's providence involved in this ministry, because it is now 132 years old. 132
Next Tuesday
Next
is our
Tuesday.
birthday. 132 years.
132 years old. How many ministries do we know that are that old? And
Very
how many
few.
of those in Indiana are that old, right? And so that is God's providence at work and providing a service to those that are experiencing homelessness for a long period of time. And it also shows that Wheeler is a grounded ministry that takes seriously what it's doing, right? And that's the thing that impresses me about Wheeler, as just not only just as employee, but as just a minister looking at Wheeler as a whole, and just the longevity and the soundness of it, right? And what a better organization to try a pilot like that, to try something like that, because we know it's going to be done thoroughly.
Yeah.
And I know some of the folks involved with it, and they're going to be with you tonight, Colleen and Terrence, right? Colleen and Terrence will be here with us tonight. They're behind some of this. And crafting a lot of these things for next stages. And so very smart, very wise people that are really going to move this thing forward. But I want to, if it's okay, if I toot the horn about Bloomington a little bit before we go.
Absolutely. We got a couple more minutes.
Yep, just a couple. And so we're in a campaign right now in Bloomington to build out our facilities, improve our facilities.
What's the campaign called?
Transferring Lives, Building Hope. So look for us on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page at Wheeler Mission Bloomington and check us out. And there's a lot of areas we want to check us out, but look there first. And but I want to shout out to our steering committee in Bloomington.
Yeah.
I want to say, let me say their names. We got some wonderful chairs down there. Thank you guys in Bloomington. Yes. And I want to thank you to DG and Jenny Elmore, our chairs there. Wonderful couple. Their son Gant, his wife Meredith, our co-chairs. Our honorary chair, Peggy Welch. Thank you, Peggy. And then I also want to lift up Andy Allard, one of our board members at Wheeler. Jenny's our board member as well. And he's on the committee. Jeff Houston's on our committee. Paul and Carol Gillard. Thank you, folks. Also want to shout out to Sean Chambers and Nate Peterman for their help with us on the steering committee as well. Great team. Those are new ones. Our new ones, yeah. Okay. So I want to thank you guys for helping so much. I think I mentioned Jeff Houston. And Jeff Houston, thank you guys for being a part of that. It is hard work, but but through God and the help of so many loyal donors, and we're really moving that ball forward. 3.6 out of 4.25 million. So excited about the next steps.
Not quite there yet.
Not quite there.
So
Gotta push it over.
Dana's a more courageous guy than he's brave. Well, I do not try to list names of people because I forget so much. So you did a great job, Dana. Thank you. So now that you listed all the names,
Yep.
Gave all the shouts out.
Yep.
One last thing.
Mhm.
But number one, I not only do I want to thank you for your heart,
Oh,
thank you for your personal friendship, because I didn't know you, before I came to Wheeler.
Right.
In this last year or so,
Yep.
you've been reporting directly to me,
I have.
and I've really enjoyed really
Oh.
enjoyed doing that.
That's a blessing.
So, but
Been
one
my-
last thing
my
before
pleasure.
we go, tell people how they can help Bloomington, help the campaign.
Mhm.
And why don't you do a little preview? I'm putting you on the spot here. I'm putting him on the spot. Do a little preview for the public thing that we're going to be doing next spring.
Oh.
And tell people how they can help and contribute.
Okay. So right now, we're preparing several things. First of all, in our event wise, we have the drumstick in Indianapolis, but in Bloomington we have what's called the Dash for Shelter. It's a 5K. It'll be December 6th. 10 a.m. December 6th, Cars Farm Park. Join us there, please.
And it's going to be cold. It's always cold.
But Santa will be there. Come
Santa's
join
always
us. Santa will be there. And so come join us December 6th at Cars Farm Park, Bloomington, Monroe County. Also, we're going to have a huge gala / anniversary, 10th anniversary shindig in Bloomington. Stay tuned for more details for that.
Sometime in the spring of 2026.
Late winter, early spring, 26. We want as many people to join us there. Stay tuned. We'll be doing more promotions of that really soon. And of course, if you want to help us with the campaign, we would like for you to go to Transforming Lives, Building Hope. You can Google it out. Go to the webpage and give online, or you can call us or email me.
Are you still giving tours?
And we're still giving tour lunch and learns every Thursday at 12:30, Fridays at 11:30. Come join us. We'd love to share with you what we're doing down there in Bloomington.
Well, Dana, thank you so much. Before we go,
Yeah.
Why don't you give a shout out? You shouted out to everybody else. Why don't you give a shout out to your family who I know are up watching in Bloomington?
Well, let me first of all, my dear wife, Joy, who has been with me for 37 years this year. We just celebrated our 37th, September 10th. And couldn't do any of this without you, sweetheart. So grateful for your support and just your counsel throughout the years. It's been invaluable. It's truly been from the Lord. And then I have 3 special children. My beautiful oldest daughter, Caitlin. Thank you, Caitlin, for being a part of my life. And my son, Ethan. And then my youngest daughter, Hannah, who's just doing wonderful. So thank you guys. And thanks for all your support.
Okay, great. And that's it. That's Dana Jones. Dana is a director of operations and all things in Bloomington for us for the past year or two, and he's doing a fantastic job. So, Dana, thank you so much for driving up. But I tell you what, on the new 69, it makes it a zip. I mean, it used to take me from Carmel like an hour and a half to get down there. I can make it down to Bloomington now in under an hour. So, Dana, you're going to see a whole lot more of me. You probably don't want to do that.
You're welcome anytime. Welcome anytime, Perry.
Anyway.
And so thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, my brother. Thank you
I love
so
you
much.
so much.
I appreciate it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.